Okay, what's going on, everybody? I'm here to do a video about deja vu and my perception on it. I'm going to use two references from movies for this vid. One is going to be from The Matrix. The other is going to be from the movie titled Deja Vu with Denzel Washington and Paula Patton. Yeah, two of my favorite movies. So, um, we're gonna start here, right? Like, excuse me, I'm thirsty. Okay, so deja vu. I'm going to tell you about an experience that I had. Pretty much the last concrete experience that I had of deja vu, how most people experience deja vu. So, to my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, most people experience deja vu by you're living everyday life the same way that you do, and then all of a sudden it happens. You say, "Oh, I remember this. This happened before." Right? Tell me if this is the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? It was done differently in the movie Deja Vu, which I'm going to get to in a minute. But I just want to make clear that that is the average way that the average person experiences deja vu. So I wanted to make that clear before I give my explanation of when I last experienced it, and probably why this was the last time I experienced it, and I didn't experience it in that type of way anymore. All right. I believe that I experience it in a different type of way now, which I'm going to get to. So first, let me get to my experience, right? Once upon a time, like I'm telling a story, right? But for real, once upon a time, I did some time. I went to prison. I was out of town and I got sentenced. And so we're in the cages. I had actually was speaking with a rival of mine. I was in the streets. He was a rival, but we reconciled, settled our differences, and became friends while we was in prison. So we're in the cages. We actually had to go down the road together. So we're in the cages and we're about to go. Now out of town, it's not like New York. In New York, you don't get no say so on where you're going. Like they make that decision of where you're going to do your time at, right? Out of town where I was is different. You actually get to choose where you want to go do your time at. So dude that I was telling you about that, we were rivals that became friends. He was like, "Yo, listen, yo, you need to go to such and such and such." So I'm like, "Oh yeah, for real?" He like, "Yeah, man, you go to rec 3 times a day. That's why it's the best prison because you can go out 3 times a day and work out this and the third." So once I heard that, I was game. I was like, "All right, I'm going." You know what I mean? So we started going down the road. Now come to find out, this is like this most super max prison in the United States of America. Come to find out, right? I went anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I get there, and I get there, I get inside of my cell or whatever the case may be. I meet my first bunkie. Now, it's not like New York. New York, you pretty much got your own cells, right? Here, I got a bunkie, so it's a top bunk, bottom bunk. So I meet my new bunkie. I get on the bottom bunk. He's on the top bunk. So it wasn't the first night, but like maybe the second or third night that I'm there, I'm sleeping, and I wake up in the middle of the night, and I turn over on my back. It's like 3, 4 in the morning. I turn over on my back, but I look up, and my bunkie is like leaning a bit off of his top bunk, facing towards me, like he's looking down at me on the bottom bunk. So I found that weird. It struck me as weird. So I'm like, "Yo," I was like, "Yo, you good?" He was like, "Yeah, everything all right, everything all right." You know what I mean? Turned back over on his bunk or whatever. So I'm like thinking to myself, like, where I'm from is just like automatically, and I was, I've done time before, but it was like, yo, you know what? I haven't done time in a prison that was this maximum before. So I was just like, yo, you know what? I'm going to prepare to protect myself. So I went, I got a razor. I didn't like make no shank or whatever the case may be. We had razor blades that we used to shave our beard, right? So pretty much what I'm telling you is I believe that he was homosexual. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing that ran through my brain. And dude was brolic, bald head brolic dude. You know what I'm saying? Had more size than me. So I was just like, all right, I'm gonna protect myself just in case. You know what I mean? I put my razor under my pillowcase. Under my pillow, and I was like, worst come to worst, come down to it. I'm going for dude's neck and I'm ending it right there. You know what I'm saying? I already had it planned in my mind what was gonna happen. So now I didn't make no sudden moves. I wasn't scared. I went right back to sleep. Maybe like 10 minutes I fell back to sleep. I didn't go knock on my gate or nothing, right? So this is when the weird thing happened. I wouldn't call it weird today, but at this time I found it kind of strange. So as soon as we wake up, before I even woke up, like I was awoken by the guard. The CO came and it was it was 2 COs that came to the gate. One of them actually stepped in and did a shakedown of our cell. Now mind you, it's a whole tier of cells. We're the only cell that gets shooken down. So I'm like, what the fuck is this about? You know what I'm saying? So They searched my bunkie. He ain't had nothing. He didn't really have nothing anyway. You know what I'm saying? I just got there. I didn't have much of anything myself, but you know, he searched my bunkie. He didn't find anything. So he searched me. He didn't find nothing, but he went under my pillow. He was searching my bed. He went under my pillow. We saw the razor there. So I'm gathering that he put two and two together and was like, okay, we're allowed to have razors. It wasn't illegal or anything. We was allowed to have razors in our cell. However, you know, to have it under your pillow suggests something else. So he didn't say anything though. He just left out, and we had to go out for rec at that time. So we went out for rec. Boom, we go outside. I went in the yard, like everything normal day. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and mind you, like I'm going to eat chow and work out with dudes who got triple my time. Like I'm eating and working out with murderers, like on a daily day-to-day basis. You know what I'm saying? So this prison was definitely like I was doing time, but I was not doing that much time. Yet people around me, and there was only maybe a few other people in that actual part of the prison that was doing as much time as me, which wasn't much compared to the rest of these guys. You know what I'm saying? But here nor there, I'm just saying that so I can give you a vivid description of how the atmosphere was. So I get back from rec or whatever the case may be, and you know, this guy comes up to me. He's like, "Yo, listen, man. They changed your cell or whatever the case may be. COs changed your cell. They put you in my cell. You upstairs now." He told me the number of the cell. He's like, "Yo, I got food and everything. In case you need anything, just let me know." Blah 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 blah. He had the kitchen suit on. He worked in a mess hall. So I'm like, all right, good looking. You know what I'm saying? When in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, you know, how is he communicating that to me? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, again, I'm out of town. I'm in a different prison politics, whatever the case may be. So I finally get to the CO. COs told me the same thing. So it was the truth. You know what I mean? They was like, yeah, you've been moved upstairs, blah, 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 blah. Get whatever belongings you may have had. And matter of fact, they had put myself up there themselves at that point. You know what I mean? So I'm gathering that they put two and two together and was like, okay, we got to get this person out of here because it's about to be a violent situation because they found my razor or whatever the case may be. But they didn't ask me about it. They didn't say nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, fucking cool. It's cool with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in no trouble or whatever the case may be. I'm good. So come to find out, the dude that cell that I was moved into now, he's a homosexual. And he's open about it, like he's vocal about it. So whether or not the dude that was in my first bunkie, whether he was a homosexual or not, I'm not pretty sure. You know what I'm saying? I spoke to some of my homies that I was in prison with. They was like, you know, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? He got that look. You know, you never know though. You know what I'm saying? But he's usually to himself. He don't really speak to nobody else, whatever the case may be. And you know, we really don't know. You know what I mean? And I know like he was doing like 15 plus. He was doing like 15 years. I remember. So you know, but I didn't really know his jacket like that. So we didn't get that deep into shit yet. You know what I'm saying? So I get to my new bunkie's place, right? And I'm still on my toes, I'm still on my P's and my Q's because this guy's actually vocal about being homosexual. But, so, you know, we're in there, whatever the case may be. So something happened. You know, I was already like kind of on edge because he was so nice to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I told you, as soon as I first met him, he was like, yo, if you need anything, blah, 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 blah. I got food, this, that, and the third. And like I had some people, I had some chicks on the outside, you know, sending me money, sending me letters and everything. I was all right. I wasn't well off to be out of town and everything, but I was cool. You know what I'm saying? Got a job in the prison and everything. I was good. But he was still offering me stuff, and I'm just like, and I had mad boys giving me stuff too, like my dudes from DC. Make a long story shorter, right? So anyway, I kind of like felt some type of way because I was getting it from him. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? You could call it homophobia or whatever the case may be. All I know is that, you know, I was on guard for that type of situation to where it's like, you know, I'm going to do what I need to do. As the story says, you know, I had my razor under my pillow and everything. Like, I was not playing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm already on guard when speaking with this dude. So one day I just felt the need to address this. So I'm like, look, I remember. Now, this is where the deja vu comes in. I know you're probably like, what is this, a prison story? But this is where the deja vu comes in, right? Because I recall this, I won't ever forget. I was watching SVU, Law and Order, on my top bunk. You know what I'm saying? And I'm in there, I'm watching the TV or whatever the case may be, and I just felt like addressing it because I think he was offering me something or it was just something, and I'm just like, yo, man, you don't gotta, you know what I mean? You don't gotta give me everything you get or whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm all right, you know what I'm saying? If I need something, I'll ask for it. Like, trust me, I'm that type of person. I will ask for something if I need it, you know what I'm saying? He's like, nah, man, it ain't nothing, man. He's like, yo, what's up? Take it easy, whatever the case may be. And I'm like, nah, man, because you make me think like you like me or something, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, whoa, you know what I mean? He broke it down to me like, yo, I am who I am, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I'm in here for a long time. You see, working in a mess hall. I'm not even in here all day. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not even in your way to bother you, except for when I come in and I lay down or whatever. He's like, yo, I think you cool. You know what I'm saying? You do music and stuff like that. Like we got some things in common, or whatever the case may be. Which we did. He played the guitar and stuff like that. You know what I mean? He's told me about his musical endeavors when he was out in the town or whatever the case may be. Now this dude, he was doing a life sentence too. You know, he was telling me about himself and stuff like that. So he was like, yo, just chill, man. He was like, yo, trust me, man. Like, if I wanted to do something, man, here, blah, 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 to be done, da, 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 like, you know, I can go out on the outside, on the outskirts for that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't like that. So just chill. You don't got to worry about none of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, like, trying to come on to you, whatever the case may be. I just, like, you know, I look out for people, man. I'm well off. He was right. Like, he had stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, but I just had to also let him know, like, you know what I mean? I got stuff too. You know what I mean? I had mail getting slid under the door and all that too. Like, I was like, yo, I'm all right. But I took it as, you know, as I said, you know, coming into the prison, and I was just looking at things like, yo, look, you know what I'm saying? This is not going to happen, or this is not going to be that way. So I was on the defense at all times, and I felt much better after addressing him about this situation, you know what I'm saying? But as far as the deja vu goes, I think it might have something to be with danger or traumatized situations, or something that clicks in your brain that makes you remember exactly who you are. I believe that it has something to do with it, because I remember watching SVU, I get heated and I'm just like, yo, listen, man. And then I thought about it. I said, yo, this happened before. So I'm looking around and I'm like, yo, I've been in this cell before. Like, this has definitely happened to me before. You know what I mean? And I looked and I knew what I was going to say next. And then I said it word for word, verbatim. And then I remember he moved across the cell and everything the same way he did, as I recall in my memory. So I'm like, yo, this is wow, because I remember this. You know what I'm saying? And this deja vu kind of like lasted for about 15 seconds, which I think is rather long for a deja vu experience. Right or wrong, you tell me, let me know, right? When you had a deja vu. So this was the last concrete deja vu that I remember. You know, I've had them plenty of times before, but this is the last one I remember, and I think it's definitely for a reason why. I remember doing this time on this bid, right? And I'm like, yo, listen, these dreams that I was having in there were very vivid, very vivid. And the reason why I'm bringing this up also is because I look at moonwalking, I look at deja vu as a form of moonwalking. And if you haven't heard of moonwalking before, look it up. It's like a form of astral projection. And when I say astral projection, I mean dreaming. But you know, some people, they just coin astral projection to be levitating outside of your body when you're dreaming and looking down on yourself in the same room. It's much more than that. It's way beyond that. I'm talking about astral projecting when you have an actual vivid dream and you are out and about and you see phenomena that you can parallel to this earth. So basically, it's the confirmation that other realities exist on different dimensions. Now, whether they are in the past, whether they are in the right now, or whether in the future, it's all of those things combined. It could be either of the three. Some of these constructs, they seem like they're on the same earth. Now, whether they're different earths, physical earths, I cannot confirm that as of yet. What I can tell you, though, is that some situations are only different just because of you not buying a certain shirt yet. Like, you'll see in your closet and be like, oh, this is my closet, this is my apartment, but I don't remember having that shirt ever. So am I about to buy that shirt? So it could be something as simple as that, or certain furniture arrangements in your apartment. You're like, I don't have a nightstand, like what was that doing there? Or, you know, I don't have a TV with that many inches on the screen. Am I going to break this one? So these are the type of hints that I've been gotten to understand that I've been moonwalking, I've been astral projecting, and I've been getting glimpses into the future, present, and past about things that I can make decisions on and determine as far as the deja vu goes. Like, I can actually not have these same types of deja vu occurrences, but be aware of what is to come, to the point where I won't have it in the moment. I'll just be like, okay, deja vu is actually what I seen in my dream, because I have prophetic dreams often now. You know what I mean? And trust me, I'm not saying this to like, you know, like gloat or, you know, try to like show off or anything like that. I'm not even trying to prove anything. You know what I'm saying? It's taken me years to even talk about this type of stuff. Like, this topic was actually a demand on my channel to speak about for months now, and I haven't even addressed it yet, because I just don't talk about stuff like this openly for more than one reason. You know what I mean? But here nor there, right? I digressed a bit. Let me bring it back a little bit to what I was saying. You know those books that we used to read when we was little, right? When, you know, you read a certain part of the book and it's like, you know, if you want to go left, turn to page 15, right? Or if you want to go right, turn to page 17. You know what I mean? So and then you do it, and then sometimes you end up in a path that you don't like, so you try to like go back and cheat, knowing you cheating yourself, right? Like, you know, you picked that path, you got to live with it, right? Like, that's how life is. So that's how I determined this whole deja vu thing to be at this point. I felt like, okay, I've made decisions that landed me in jail, and that's why I had that specific deja vu. However, when I started looking at astrology, right, and I started applying astrology with my dreams, and I'm just like, okay, well, first, based on the astrology thing, if you looked at my natal chart, I know I've looked at my natal chart and I've discovered that, okay, there are some predeterminate curses that says I may have landed in jail a few times. You know what I mean? Like, it's there. It's there. You know what I mean? So part of this tells me that if I would have had that knowledge, that astrological knowledge, before making the decisions that I made that landed me in jail, right? Because you figure if a person goes to prison, they have to do some type of decision making that suggests that they'd be there, right? So I said to myself, okay, if I had this type of knowledge before, I probably wouldn't have ended up in prison because I had seen the pitfalls, right? Or maybe wrong. And this is exactly why I ended up being there, because I came here, I was birthed with a predetermined pathway, if you will, or a predetermined destiny, which is my natal chart. So it was already predetermined that I wouldn't have that knowledge to prevent me from going into prison after prison at this point. You know what I'm saying? It was already predetermined. It was already destined. So now that from that point forward, and this is why I say it's even kind of strange. I don't find it strange now, but at the time it was kind of strange because I started having more vivid dreams when I was doing this prison bid, to the point where I'm seeing all types of glimpses of the potential that can happen. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, wow, prophetic dreams just kept on coming to me. So I'm like, okay, when I get out of here, I'm going to try to apply myself to make some of these things come into fruition. So now, mind you, I get to doing this whole astrology thing when I get out, and I see the natal chart. I see, okay, these are the things that could have landed me in prison. It's already there, right? So I started practicing and applying myself so that I don't go to prison. That's one. But at the same time, I started having more prophetic dreams. So it came to the point that I did like experiments. I still do them to this day. And I can confirm having a glimpse into the future in my dream and applying myself to make that actual thing come into fruition. I've confirmed this myself. And of course, how am I going to be able to prove this to you, right? So again, I'm not saying this to like prove this to anybody or try to be like a big shot. I'm just telling you what I know. As long as I know, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? So what this told me is that this is probably more along the lines of controlling the destiny of what we believe to be deja vu, but when we're aware. So I think awareness is the like strong point of this whole talk right now, is because ever since that last deja vu, I've been so aware of myself in the waking state by paralleling it and contrasting it to the prophetic dreams or even the symbolic dreams that I've been having in my sleep, to where it was like, okay, I don't even need to experience a deja vu in that way anymore, because I'm in control of what we would call a deja vu. So it's more of me navigating it now than it was it happening to me suddenly, and then it's like a wake-up call, like, oh, this happened before, right? And this is why I say this is moonwalking. This is why I associate it with the moon, because the moon is associated with repetition and memory, right? Memory and the subconscious. So dreams and all of that is your subconscious brain talking to your. Excuse me, just ate some great food, but it's talking to your conscious brain. But when you're in a meditative state, right? So if you're good, you practice this often, you'll be able to absorb and obtain a lot of the information that you see in your dreams. You'll be able to bring it back to the waking state, right? So when this is happening, I'm waking up and I'm like navigating myself into those possible realities. Okay, so what this was telling me is that, okay, the way that we experience deja vu's before is because we have impaired our memory. You know how you can impair your memory. I know you heard all about it. You can use substances, the types of, and it's not even just like damaging your body with drugs. It can also come from, just eating foods excessively. You know what I mean? Or just doing so much of things that are, you may have heard people say that people are docile because of the foods and stuff like that. Like they're just so happy-go-lucky with the flow, and they're not really aware and conscious of the subconscious activity that takes place behind the scenes or in different dimensions. So that's why deja vu, they experience it in that certain way to where it sneaks up on you. It's alarming, like, oh, that's my word, deja vu, right? You be around your friends, you be like, yo, deja vu. That's my word. I've been through this before. You know what I'm saying? And now that I've been practicing, I don't experience it that way no more. It's like, I'll get hints, I'll get glimpses, like how they say with Uranus activity, right? Lightning type epiphanies. Like, oh, you start putting pieces together very quickly. Like, oh. Now, if you have vivid dreams and you remember them, and you're in a waking state, you're like, oh, that's from my dream. If that's from my dream, and that's from my dream. So now, okay, I got to do this and I got to do that. You start putting pieces of the puzzle together, and then you look and you sound weird, like I'm sounding right now probably to some of you, right? But this is real for me. You know what I'm saying? And I start applying it, and it's confirmation start coming through, right? And to the point where you start seeing more, you get fed it, and then you're like, okay, whoa. Because I've seen this now, seen this now, seen this now, seen this now. So now I got to make up a timeline for this to occur. So this is why now I want to talk about the movies, right? Because in the Matrix, they defined, deja vu to be a glitch inside of the Matrix, right? Something that went wrong. So, like I said before, like I was thinking, like we read those books and we had to choose different paths, and that's what determined what deja vu was. Until I started practicing more, and I'm like, okay, well maybe this really is a whole predetermined skit, like, and we're supposed to go through all of this. So I kind of like debunked the whole Matrix definition of what deja vu is. But I think that the glitch that they refer to, or something that went awry, is more along the lines of us impairing our memories to the point where we are forgetful. We are not aware of what we're here to do. We're not aware that we've already done these things before, and that we're here to do it again, or like we're just here to do what we've done already. I know this sounds kind of off, but some of you experienced this, you know what I'm talking about. I'm getting there, right? So it's like, sometimes I do this for vision boards and stuff. Like I say, okay, I got a mansion out here in this state. It looks like this, that, and the third. I already have it. So I tell myself I have it already. Sure, I may be in this studio apartment. However, that house and all of that is there. That jet or that self-driving car is there. And all of it is there. I'm just working my way to my advancement, if you will. You know what I mean? So I look more along the lines of the Denzel and Paula Patton movie with Deja Vu. So let's visit that for a quick moment, right? In this movie, something had happened, something tragic had happened, right, to Paula Patton, and there was a potential chance to go in the past and alter something in the past in order to save this woman. Right, and the way that they did it was through using using technology, was through a machine, right? And Denzel took it upon himself to go and take it on, right? So in the movie, it's like, okay, you've gotten a glimpse, you already know what is the outcome, you know what the result is now. So you're going in and you're going to apply yourself to make sure that this thing doesn't happen, right? So it's kind of like what I'm saying is that for me, I'm using the body, I'm using the human body. So my machine is me, my actual human anatomy. So I go to sleep, I have a dream, and I'm in there and I see what's going to happen. I have the potential to either alter what's going to happen, and I've even visited the past before. I probably have to do a whole nother video for that, right? But I can go into a dream, I can either go into the past, I can go into the present, I can go into the future. To me, it's all the same thing now. It's another video as well. And I can either alter the outcome of the result to benefit, or what I believe to benefit the people involved, not just myself. Like you can be selfish. For me, it's just not the way I am. Maybe it got something to do with being a 22 or whatever. But for me, it's like I alter it. If I do alter a situation, it's for the parties involved. So that I can address what they're feeling in the dream because I can pick up on their moods and if they feel sad or if they think something is wrong, like I can do something that changes that. And when I get back to the waking state, I can see that. I can see it made visible. It's very, very deep. This is something beautiful. I call it beautiful. It's phenomenal. At the same time, it's a lot of the times unbelievable. You know what I mean? Sci-fi is on a rise though, so I'm not, this is getting popularized soon, and this is another reason why I didn't like talk about this type of stuff for years now. For years, it's just not popular. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wanted to hear that type of stuff. People want to dance, party, and rock and roll and bullshit and impair their memory all the way around so that they don't, some people are probably just running from this type of stuff, the spooky science or what have you. So, right? So, or there's the alternative that I can apply myself and be selfish, I guess you could say, in these aspects, apply myself to make that specific thing that I've seen in my dream come true. And it's up to me. Like if I think that that's what happens is I come back to the waking state, and I told you, like I gather information in the waking state, and I can apply it to the dream, and I recall the dream, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like I could walk past a building and be like, I've never been there before, but I've been there in my dream. So I'm looking, and all of a sudden I'm like, this is the building from this dream from blah, 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 when I did this, that, and the third. Now, if I truly want this thing to come into fruition for me, or even for the people involved, I'll do X, Y, Z. Now, if I don't, or if I think it's not time yet, I'll refrain from doing that and then see what the outcome of that is. So it's still like we're playing this predetermined game still, but I think the choices, like I was talking about with the book, when you make a choice and you go to a certain result, I think all of those results still exist, but it's up to us whether we practice patience or we're impulsive to how quick these things are revealed or confirmed to us. And I think some of us, some people just run from it, as I said. Some people don't even get the chance to actually realize that they have the power to do this stuff. They just run through life scared or, worried about what other people think about them. So they constantly make decisions based out of fear that brings them away from this type of phenomenal period. Like they are not in tune with the subconscious at all. They are just fully, I don't want to use the word mundane. Like I'm not trying to play anybody who doesn't, see the same way that I see it. Because even after studying astrology, right, I've come across aspects that confirm certain people who have this type of ability. It's not just me, but I do have certain placements that suggest that I have this type of ability. And, so for me, I guess it's like, okay, I shouldn't run from it because I have it. So I can't really down anyone who doesn't tap into what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that I believe that the reason why the average person experiences deja vu the way that I explained it to be, like happening suddenly and then you're just taken aback by it, is because they're not tapping into the psychic energy, or they're not tapping into the remote viewing type of energy, or they're not getting good sleep. They're not getting good enough sleep. Because I'm not going to sit here and kid you and say I get the greatest sleep. Like I don't work all day and then straight 8 hours sleep. You know what I mean? I don't. You know what I'm saying? But when I do sleep, I believe I sleep well because I do dream, and I obtain information from my dreams. So it may be broken up and stuff like that. I got to deal with that part. You know what I mean? And I may take naps through the day. I'm blessed to actually have a schedule like that. But this, as I said before, this comes after years of repetition and practicing how to do this stuff. So that's my story on deja vu. Again, I believe that training my mind and becoming like more healthy when I was in that prison stint, that it allowed me to see dreams more vividly and have more prophetic dreams. And this is why I haven't experienced deja vu in that type of light since then. You know what I mean? But, I get these glimpses of deja vu before it happens. So when something happens, like I said, I've tested it before and I confirmed applying myself to make something happen in my dream come into fruition. That's like being aware of deja vu. So it doesn't happen the way that it happens to the average person. It happens the way I guided or navigated to be. So I'm more in control of the timeline of my predetermined existence. Because again, I think we get here with the celestial blueprint already. I think the natal chart is the predetermined path in paths, plural, that we take along our journey here. And again, for the most part, people who don't get to experience this type of stuff is either because they don't have the information. As I said before, that's probably why I landed in prison. But again, since it's a predetermined thing, I'd have landed in prison anyway. That's why I didn't have the information. You know what I mean? So maybe you're watching this and maybe you landed in prison because you don't have certain information that comes from astrology, maybe, that could tell you, like, oh yeah, I got a placement like this and that and third. So it'll make you brush up on your techniques or how you play with your body. Play with your body. I don't say play with your body. Experiment with your body. You know what I mean? You know, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. You know what I'm saying? This is not your usual typical video that I would put up on this channel. But you know, why not spice it up a bit? I thought I'd like toss it in there, especially since it was on demand. You know what I mean? So that's one of my experiences with Deja Vu. Hope you enjoyed. If you got anything to say about this, anything, you know, I don't care. Anything. I would rather you be constructive and productive in the comment box, but you know, sometimes it doesn't go that way. So I mean, it's whatever. You know what I mean? Free world, right? Do what you want to do. So, all right, y'all. I'm out.